So this is part 2 of exploring an unmapped cave. I ended up bringing my friend Doug, who's a fellow NSS member as well as a caver, and we ended up getting maybe 100 feet beyond what Felicia and I did, and we realized that while we were in this belly crawl in water doing an ear dip, that there was no way to physically turn around without backing up, and we had no idea how long it was going to continue that way. So we made the decision to leave the cave completely and go pick up some wetsuits. This is where it gets really cool. We picked up the wetsuits from our buddy who runs the Poke Bayou store in Batesville, and when we went to get those, there was a gentleman there who claimed he had been in this cave in '91, and so we decided to bring him back with us. We suited him up, got his gear ready, and indeed he had been to this cave, but he did not get far in it at all, because once it got to the water, that's where him and his buddy stopped. So that's why Felicia and I were able to find virgin passage beyond that point. I think the water was a big element in keeping people out of this cave, so people didn't go either because it was cold or because of the belly crawl is pretty intense itself. And that's really a blessing in disguise, because in this video you see all the grotto salamanders inside this cave. It's more than I've ever seen in any cave, exploring caves. So that was a pretty cool thing to see. The next step for this unmapped cave, of course, is going to be mapping it. We're going to bring in CRF for that. And then the next thing is going to be bringing in the salamander specialist. So I'm excited that the grottos are going to be protected, and I think it was a really cool experience. All right, so Doug and I are back at the cave that is unmapped, and we're gonna see if we can push it further than Felicia and I got to. So Doug just spotted a couple of the grotto salamanders. So here's one, here's two. And this is a little ways back in the cave. We're really pushing it to get as far as we can because I don't have much phone battery today. Those things are awesome. Again, this is the Ozark blind salamander. 3. Nice, Doug. 4. Oh my gosh. Y'all, this is really special to get to see. That one, he's fully mature right there. Yeah, he's completely blind. So even though he's blind, he can feel the heat from our light. So I'm not going to shine him too much. But that's incredible to get to see. There is another one here, another one climbing there. And we have another one right here. So how many is that total? 9? Oh my gosh. Like this is not even real. Like this is not real. This is unbelievable. Okay, look, and this shows you how you can see their organs. They are specially adapted to lose their pigmentation in their eyesight. This is just, as a caver, this is amazing to get to experience. They are everywhere.
There's 3.
There's 3? Okay, so these are also grottos that are right here. These are some of the darkest that I've ever seen. I don't know if it's because they're in a different stage. I've never seen them look like that. Like they have a pink pigment still, but they're just really, really dark. And they're blonde. All right, so Doug and I are back at the cave, and we have this gentleman here. Tell us your name.
Brandon.
And when was the first year you were here?
91.
91. So he has been to this cave. We're going to see if we can push it further to where he stopped. Did you say like the water was too deep?
It was too cold.
It was too in fact, Doug and I went and got some wetsuits for that very reason. So we are going to go and see what we can find. So this is pretty cool. It's my first time seeing this. We have some vat bones that are calcified in this flowstone or this rimstone dam that's right here. That's pretty cool to get to see that. So Doug and I did a belly crawl, and to try and push this cave, you have to do what's called an ear dip. So you're about like this. There's no clearance to turn your head, and you have to back up. So it's not like you can turn around there. My dry box just fell in the water. That's what you just heard. But anyways, So it ends up getting to where it's impassable by a person. It's completely choked off by water, but it was cool to get to come back. And today we saw an unreal amount of grotto salamanders. How many would you say, Doug?
Over 30.
Yeah, over 30, and that's unheard of. And our salamander specialist is super pumped, Mr. Ron. He's gonna come out here and check the salamanders out for us and let us know like how many females versus male that we have in here. So it still was a lot of fun. Busted out the wetsuits. They are superb, by the way. Highly recommend if you're exploring water passage. So it was a lot of fun. Also, I promise every adventure won't always be caves. That just happens to be my favorite thing in the world. So we'll do some other things for sure. And until our next video, wishing you many happy adventures of your own.